Remember to look there a lot.
There?
Yeah.
Oh. I move a lot.
You. Have you seen me before? Welcome to Alchemy 101. I am Halo Marquise, and it is a glorious day today. I have my wife, Jeanette. It is her birthday, actually. So we're going to have a really good time. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We've never, I think we've had her ever on any show.
I know.
You need to have that way closer. There we go. Good. It's okay.
No.
Rookie thing happens all the time.
Okay.
And anyone that has not been to the show before, whether you are with us live on Facebook or you're with us on Artist First, welcome. Alchemy 101 is about, acknowledging the lead you have and transferring it into gold and making all the crazy things that happen to you in this life a beneficial and amazing thing. So for me, if you guys are familiar with alchemy, there's something called a philosopher's stone, which is what allows you to really use your superpowers. And Jeanette has kind of been my philosopher's stone in my life, and it's been really interesting. Ryan, thank you for the happy birthday, brother. I see you in the chat.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I did have a list of questions that other people have asked me about our relationship and just the way that we live and lots of different things. So I don't have the list with me, but I'll do my best to remember them. Anyone that's in the chat, if you're on Facebook Live, we did this as a pre-recorded show because we had some other appointments going on, and it's her birthday. So, I'm going to take her and we'll do some fun things. But just look how bright this makes it. So, yeah. But no, so while I'm remembering these questions, we'll just kind of get into a couple fun things as to how I met this amazing woman. If that's okay, I can.
That's a fun story, sure.
It's good.
Well, like the almost met is the fun story.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so when I was younger, I was one of those overly romantics that I didn't really have the family version that you see on TV growing up. And so I always thought my family would be the most important, biggest, greatest thing I could ever do. Right? That was just how I saw it. Now, this was before I'd met Jeanette, but because of that mindset, I actually married my high school sweetheart. Right? Her name was Candace. And what's really funny in a really roundabout way, and again, this is just how the universe makes things happen. It's interesting. She was in my orbit way before I ever met her, which is really weird. And again, like she said, it's a fun story. So our cousins, I always feel like I say it wrong, but our cousins, were dating each other, right? And it was pretty serious, right?
Yeah.
And so because of that, she was almost brought to my first wedding. Was going to be like a guest at my wedding. And so even then the universe was like, you need her. Right. But if she would have come in that way, yeah, it's not at my wedding. There's no way. But what's up, man? Welcome to the show, Karen. Thank you. Good to see you guys. It is Jeanette's birthday today. So if everyone can blow her Facebook inside and out, happy birthdays and all, that'd be absolutely fantastic. I'd love it. It'd be good. And so it's interesting. So she ends up not coming to my wedding, which, good thing. Obviously, very, very good thing.
Right.
And like a lot of young dummies who rush and get married thinking it's the thing to do, it wasn't working out for me. Right. Ramon. Remember Ramon? My man from Phoenix. How you doing, man? He's with the sword shop.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. How you doing, brother? Thank you, man. Oh, yeah. It's been a while, and it's been a really happy birthday. We've it's almost
busy
been as bright as this shirt is. almost right, but yeah, so thank you for that. Thank you. And so she ended up not coming to the wedding, right? This is the story we get to. And so she didn't come, but at this point, because I'd moved back to the Midwest so many times, you knew like my entire family, like everybody.
Yeah, like I socialize with a lot of your really close friends, and apparently your brother was like sometime within the circle of mine.
Yeah.
Like he knew my cousin, but I don't remember meeting him. But yeah, like I knew a lot of your childhood friends,
family, just like right on the very edge of where I was.
Just not you.
Just not me.
just not you.
Just not me, you know.
Yeah.
Which was probably good. You know, timing is very important. And I don't know if we met at any other time than when we did, if it would have worked out the way that it did.
I mean, I try not to make it work out.
Yeah. So this is the fun part to me. Okay. So some of you guys that know me from Miss Tech and from Alchemy 101 don't know that before I fully was Halo, I went by my first name, which is Bryson, right? And which is who she met, right? So this is interesting, and I think this is important.
He never says his real birth name, so
I do say my real birth name, Halo. I don't say my first birth name because it's just not. It's not the person I am anymore. We've gone over this. We'll talk about it a little bit tonight. But so she met me as Bryson, right? And then I had the shirt and the collar. Right?
Oh yes,
very clean cut all the time. Very business. I was working at a college. Very articulate.
Vocabulary.
Oh, yeah. Whoa, vocabulary still, you know. But I got you. It was a different. It's a more professional character I was playing.
Right.
Right. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but before I was doing these things, while I was working at the college, I also was a club promoter all over Tempe and Scottsdale and all these things. And my cousin that was dating her cousin called me out the blue and was like, "Hey, I want to surprise her for her birthday. Can you take us out and like get us into a good spot?" Now at this time, guys, this is very interesting. Jeanette
wasn't 21 yet, so 21 I did not join this party.
Right, wasn't 21 yet. Now we're not gonna say how long we've been together because she's not a day older than 27. Right?
Right.
Yeah. So we together for quite a while though, right? We just had our however many year.
12 years.
You gave the number away now. So if you guys are good at math.
I know, but it's okay.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. She's great. It's amazing. And so she can't go out with us when we go to the club, right? She just can't. And I don't think she even knew anything about who I was or I was, none of these things. It just was.
No.
Right. I wasn't even an idea at this time. Here. But I think before we came, this was already a plan. We had to, agreed on this. But so we go out, we have an amazing time. Everything's great. I meet her other cousin. All of us, we just have a good time, like old family, old friends. And the party's going really good. So after the club, we go back to their place to keep drinking and play some cards and some other things.
Like 2, 3, 4 in the morning?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was late. It was really late because we went and had food afterwards. We got pizza. You know how you do when you're going out celebrating. And what ends up happening is because we're loud, we wake Jeanette up. Right? That's what happened. And so, I cannot paint this picture perfectly enough. So I'm gonna do my best. So when she came out, right, she was wearing, I think it was like an old Mickey Mouse T-shirt that was like one of the like shoulder hanging ones, right? And she had on these boxer shorts that would look like Fruit Strike gum, right? Mismatching, right? Hair was a mess all over the place. No makeup. There's a little bit of drool over here. I don't know if it's because she woke up or because she saw me.
3, 4 in the morning.
Right.
I don't know how you look at that time, but I don't look fly.
She looked amazing. Okay. So now I've been drinking, of course, but I definitely was not tipsy by any side. I was the host, making sure everyone had a good party. So the moment she comes walking around the corner, right? Gary, what's up, brother?
Hi. Oh, I miss you.
Oh man, Gary, good seeing you, man. Welcome. Thank you for coming in for Jeanette's birthday special. Alchemy 101, baby. Thank you.
His birthday just passed too.
Oh, happy birthday, Gary.
Yes.
Happy birthday, brother.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Great. And so immediately, I've never had a calm button, I don't think. I'm pretty aggressive about everything. Just who I am.
Hyped. Yeah.
But so when she comes around the corner, right, and I've been out dancing all night, having a good time. She comes around the corner looking like she just came out of bed. And immediately I put my drink down and stand like, "Hey, I'm Halo Marquise. How you doing?" "Oh, this is Bryson." I think I was still.
And I didn't care.
And she wasn't impressed. She wasn't. She's like, "Okay." And she was still nice and civil and courteous and all those, good things being a host.
As he explained, he came with his cousin and one of our old friends. So I was like happy to see them because I hadn't seen them in a while. So I'm like, yeah, hey, long time no see. New guy. Oh, hi. Nice to meet you. And that's it.
Right. But in the way that she explained it, like afterwards, because guys, I'll explain this is a fun thing for me to do just to have her on her birthday, but also people out there that are working on their relationship or they haven't found one or whatever, like the initiative, the taking a stance and making a decision of what you want and really going after it, I cannot express to you guys how much that actually really works. But you have to be diligent and persistent and not stalkery.
Yeah,
maybe a little bit.
You definitely did it in a smooth way, not stalkerish.
Right, but you can't take no. So this is what happened. So I introduced myself, very excited, and as late as we were there, I never took my foot off the gas. I was just going at her the whole time, right? And I was like, here, take my number. And I put my number in her phone. And I was like, look, I know I'm a club promoter and stuff, but I'm not trying to just have you go out. And she said, after we talked about this, that she didn't want to be like a groupie that was going out just because I was already doing the club thing and everything. Like, she would not let that be an impressive thing at all. Right? It was kind of a turnoff more than anything, I think. So,
well, yeah. I mean, I wasn't 21. You obviously were a club promoter, meaning you were going to spend a lot of your time at clubs. I can't be there. I wasn't trying to deal with a relationship like that, you know, so. So,
yeah. So she said no, right?
I just didn't call you.
She didn't call me. She didn't text me. This is back when your email, took a little bit longer to go. So I thought maybe she emailed me, it was on the way. Like, there was just all sorts of things. It didn't happen. Didn't happen, right? Now, what's funny about this, though, is I was working at University of Phoenix, right? Yeah. And I ended up enrolling her cousin into school, right, to go online. But she had to drive down to Phoenix. I think she was just visiting them, but asked if I could come and bring her books so they didn't have to get shipped. And I was like, wait, where are you going to be? And she goes, I'm going to Jeanette's house. And I was like, oh my God, I would love to bring you. Well, her sister, yeah. But where Jeanette was living. And I was like, I would love to bring you the books. I get to see her again and find out why she hasn't called me. Like, why she hasn't.
Because I didn't like you.
Yeah, didn't. Right now, this is one of my favorite parts of the story. So it's very important that we get to this.
Oh, the baby.
The baby. It's great.
Yeah.
Jonathan Mercado in the building. Tez, Sherry, Luke. Welcome, guys. Thank you.
Hey.
Everyone, and if you're in the channel, you have any questions about anything, please feel free to shoot them in. You want to talk about my beautiful wife and happy birthday and all those things?
Be nice. Be nice.
Oh, dope shirt. Thank you, Martez.
Mine? Oh, yeah. His, of course.
Oh, this one. Oh, yeah. Yes. Yo, you know what? I love this shirt. So, guys, this is I had to represent because I knew you'd come in for the birthday. I knew you'd be in, Tez. So this is MCP. This is my man's production company. My man Martez Cornelius in the channel. Cornelius Productions, MCP. Man, I rep this guy. Amazing gentleman. Follow him. You'll see amazing work, director stuff. Shout out. Tez. Love you, brother. Thank you. Hi, Jeanette.
Hi, Jeanette.
Tez, one of our oldest friends. So yeah. Great seeing you, man. And so long story short, so I take these books over to the apartment, right? And I come walking in because her cousin knows I'm coming. And I don't know if you knew I was coming over at that point, or if it was a surprise.
No, I was like on my way to the park to go run, supposedly.
Right. And so when I come in, she was like a little struck on the way out and like, why are you here? And then I was like, well, I brought the books and I need to find out why you didn't call me. Like, and so same thing. I just kept going. And this was over 2 months since the last time I'd seen her. Right. And in my mind, and she, maybe didn't believe me, but it's one of those things. Like, I innately knew that this is who I needed to be with. I just knew.
I think he liked the challenge. He's like, what? A girl didn't call me back?
I mean, that's probably part of it as well. But I already knew before that. I was very sure. And so as we're talking, and I'm still, I was like, we can go get chocolate milk if you want to. We can go in the middle of the daytime. Like, I don't even care. I just need 5 minutes just to hang out with you. I just, trust me. I'd love to date you. Seriously. And it wasn't cutting it. So, Sherry, thank you so much. You have a beautiful wife.
Thank you.
Thank you. And so they tell me that they're going to continue to the park. That was Jeanette's already planned before I showed up. And because I was still getting this no, but I knew I wanted to be with her. I knew. I don't know how I knew, because I was actually going through my divorce at this time. And in that moment of the divorce, and this is when I very first met her, I was like, how you go through your divorce. If anyone has sorry.
Oh, yeah. That was the other reason. I didn't want to be like a
rebound.
A rebound, Right. So I'm like, no, go do your thing.
Yeah. But I didn't want to, like, when I was getting divorced, like I told you, I'd sworn off women. Like, I'm just like,
yeah.
Not that I was going to the other side or anything. I was just, I'm done. Like, I'm not, no more relationships. I'm out of there. And again, I go out all the time. So I met all sorts of different types of women and people and all these things. And no one had caught my attention, let alone in their pajamas, right? With no makeup on and the hair's crazy, to where I was like, I want to be with her. So that to me was all I needed to know, right? I was very, very convinced and very sure of what I was seeing here, right? All the potential. I could tell. And she's just a sweetheart, you know, it was very nice, loving, good person. So, so I was gravitating. So they go to the park, and because I needed you. I was like, can I go with you? And her cousin Angie, who was on my side. Oh, Mercy's in the building. What's up, Mercy? How you doing? V? Hi. And so I invite myself to go to the park because, again, guys, persistence, right? I knew that I needed this for me. I needed it. It was very important. And so Angie, who was on my side and knew I was committed, because even when we were talking about getting into school, thank you. Happy birthday.
Thank you. I have to remember.
Yes, you got to check it right over there. Sorry.
First time. Thank you for the love.
First time. No problem. And so, so we had already been talking about how much I wanted to date her cousin. So she was on my side and knew I was serious. So she says, yeah, come to the park. And so we go to this little park and we're talking, and I'll let off just a little bit, right? Sometimes less is more, right? So I was just gauging the situation. I feel a lot of people, just when you get in life, you're so focused on what you want and the how that you don't use a gauge, right? And so the moment that I eased up a little bit, then she started talking with me a little bit more, not like in a flirty way or whatever, but just because I was, I was easing back. So maybe it was less intimidating. I don't know. But in this perfect moment, right? And it's just so great. So guys, I couldn't wear the glasses so you can see, I got the blues. Okay.
Beautiful blues.
Thank you. And we'll get into that. Okay, we'll get into that. I love you. Okay. So what ends up happening is while we're at the park, we're at this little swing set, right? In the sand, right? Swing set. Yeah. And this little, I'd say maybe 6 or 7 year old, sorry to interrupt your story, I've heard 12 times. Tez, love you too, brother. Have a good night. Have a good night, man. It's good seeing you. He's heard the story a lot. I tell the story a lot. I love this story. So there's this little mixed girl that comes over, and probably 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And really curly hair, but bright blue eyes, right? And dark skin. And Jeanette, out of nowhere, is hilarious. She goes, see, that's why I have to date a white guy, so I can have a beautiful blue-eyed baby. And I take this is exactly what it was, guys. I had these glasses on just like this. And again, I don't pump the brakes. So as soon as she said it, I was like, I will hook you up. I got you. And I think that was the one that at least snuck in a little bit.
Yeah, that was cute. That I was like, and the potential of having kids with blue eyes. But my beautiful babies,
they turned out with
are blessed with honey eyes.
Honey, which is still great.
Of course,
they're beautiful.
But I let them know you had one job,
right? One
job only,
right? And my 12-year argument has been, you were really bossy during the pregnancy and confused the DNA. They thought you was the boss. And so we got brown-eyed babies. And maybe that's the reason, maybe not, but it sounded like a good trick for baby number 2 and ease up a little bit. And he got brown eyes as well. So I think it just didn't ease up enough. But that's my side of it. But she's probably right. So in this moment, I saw that, I think I snuck one in there. That was cute. All right, it landed. And so I was like, you know what? I just realized you just don't pay your phone bill. That's what happens. Right? That's what I said. And just as I share right now, that's exactly what she did. She just kind of like, what? And had this really dumbfounded, confused look on her face. And I was like, look, if you don't pay your bill and that's why you haven't called me, like, you don't have to be embarrassed. It's okay. I understand. And she's like, my phone works. I'm like, no, it doesn't. Let me see it. And I take her phone, and guys, what I do. Guys, the only part where I say a little stalker, a little bit, but it was just important.
It was that extra effort that I'm like, okay.
I take her phone and I call myself with her phone. And then I go, bam, now I have your number. I'm going to call you. I'm going to text you. I'm going to find you. I'm going to make sure that you let me go out. Please,
he did call me. He did text me and text me and text me.
Yeah.
Until I agreed.
Until she agreed. Yeah.
Until I agreed.
Yeah. Now, to top it all off, right, because this is one of the things that I did. There was this amazing pizza shop. If you guys are in Tempe, Arizona, Phoenix area, down off of, like University and Mill? Right by there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There's this amazing pizza spot called Otto's. Okay. If you have not been there any of the time and you're in that area, go check it out. Dude's like the sweetest guy in the world.
Yes.
He's this French dude. He's really like my adopted father. Like when I go and eat there, I even take the dishes back and go wash
the greatest.
them. And he's the greatest, like most humble, beautiful man. He's great. And so what I decide is I'm going to take her here where this is already like my home, but it's not. And she'll meet this amazing, loving gentleman. And that, and then I can ask him what he thinks. Because again, he was kind of like a father figure to me there. So we go and we have this amazing, in my opinion, I'll let her give you her version in a second, but pretty amazing lunch.
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah.
Really good conversation.
Yes. Which was nice. Got a little bit of like what you're doing in life, what you want in life, your family. It was actually very interesting. Yeah, it was right before going to class. I remember that. Yeah,
I got her to come see me right before class, so that's good. So yeah,
no dinner, just lunch.
Yeah, just lunch. It's like I promised. We don't have to. It don't have to be that serious of a date yet because she was a little not sure about me. Anyways, so then I walk her out to the car, right? And she swears. I still don't believe her to this day.
Yeah.
But, this is first date, and I already knew at that point. I knew. So I tried to give her a kiss goodbye. And she kind of hesitated for a second. I'm like, I'm getting this kiss, though.
And I don't recall a kiss.
Yeah, and it wasn't like a crazy one, but just a quick little kiss and like, yeah. It was good. It was. I thought it was good. It was good. And
it definitely had me thinking.
Yeah. Good. See, thinking. It's important. Now, if I didn't take those extra steps, guys, I'm telling you, like I'm telling you, like I love telling the story, but really the implementation of hearing no and hearing rejection, but knowing how bad I really wanted it and staying dedicated to it and staying persistent and everything. We just celebrated our 12th year being together. And it's crazy. And we've had tons of ups and downs and chaos and order and beautiful things and terrible things. And that's all part of it. But we just, we've learned to stay really diligent and talk it out and communicate the best we can.
Yes.
And luckily she hasn't killed me in my sleep yet. So I think it's working. That's.
Did he say yet?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's important. Important. That's why I say beautiful demon wife all the time. That's okay.
Patience.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of communication that I had to learn for sure. And I mean, we're not perfect. We even reach out to other sources to learn how to communicate because I could be stubborn. Yeah, I can definitely be stubborn. And, this man is smart. He definitely does not stay quiet. But because he knows how I am, we've learned to choose our battles, basically, but as we get older, we just learn and right.
Yeah, no, it's been great.
I mean, at least I know personally myself, I have more to learn, but you have patience, I have patience, and
we'll be learning to the end of our life, right?
And truthfully, our son,
oh my god,
Amante, he's like a counselor sometimes. He'll like.
Yeah, you guys have seen him on the show.
What are they called? A mediator.
Mediator. Yeah, he's and so that's the other thing is like we were dating and so from that first date, and no crazy stuff, okay? Gorgeous is it? Oh, thank you, Sonny.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, I get caught up. Sorry. Just remind me. But yeah, so she lived like 5 minutes away from where I worked.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I lived almost 40 minutes away from where I worked. Right now, I need y'all's dirty minds getting no crazy things in your brains or anything, because no. But after this date, was it the same day or was it the next night? I think it was the same day actually.
What
that we had our next date.
Oh,
the next day.
Yeah, probably the next day. You didn't stay.
The next day.
Over?
Yeah. So the next day.
I think within the week.
No, I swear. I remember very specific. And I'll explain why.
Okay.
I'll explain why.
Okay.
So we had our first date, right? That went way better in my mind than maybe hers. It was still good though. You say, she was thinking, right? So it was good. The next day we ended up doing like an actual dinner date and an actual like a real date, right? And then I think we went back to her. I went back to her place to drop her off or something, and we were just talking and hanging out. And then I wasn't even being slick because I was really seriously wanting to date her. So I wasn't just trying to, put some moves on or anything. And it came up like I could just crash on the couch if that's cool, because this is so much closer to my job, and I don't have to drive all the way there and then drive all the way back. And
I think it was discussed because in that case you would have had to have clothes for work.
no, because I was already in my dress clothes because I took you out on a date. So I was already had what I would need for the next day.
Okay.
I promise.
Okay.
I'll explain. So, and this is why I remember this, right? It's very important. So what ends up happening is I stay over. Now, anyone that's watched the show knows that I don't sleep, right? I'm sorry, were you gonna say something?
No.
Okay. So because I don't sleep, the only way that I ever, like, this is back before I had access to herbal remedies and things like that, we'll say. So I either had to be very warm and cuddled up in order to fall asleep, or I would just watch TV until I passed out.
And I don't need either to fall asleep.
And she don't either. And so when I tell her this, because she was like, you can sleep in the bed, it's fine. And I'm like, all right, cool. I won't try nothing, I swear. I just, that's great. Thank you so much. And I was really appreciative, and I was serious about this. Okay. I really was. And so as we're like getting into bed, I tell her that. I was like, hey, this is going to sound like a line and I'm sorry, but I don't sleep. So you can either cuddle with me and I'll fall asleep that way, or you can let me watch TV and then I'll fall asleep. And I don't remember the exact wording, but what did you tell me?
Well, here's the control. The TV's right there. Good night. Oh.
You're good. I just watched that thing. It's okay. I know. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. And I project really loud, so that's why I'm all
good.
So she literally was like, here's the remote and the TV's right there, and enjoy the TV. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I was a little disappointed, but at the same time, like, it's fine. You know, slow and steady wins the race. It does, right? It already taken 2 months already just to get to this point. But the reason I remember this, Zamora's in the building. Elo,
hey.
Erica, how you guys doing? Zamora, welcome.
I miss you guys.
Yeah, man, I miss Zamora too. It's good dude. And so I spend the night, and I'm watching TV, and it's like 3 a.m, and she's been tossing and turning all night because she's a normal person and sleeps with no lights on and no TV, and I'm a crazy person. And so Zamora, oh snap, it's Jeanette. Zamora, Elo, good seeing you, man. Hope all is well. And so she was like, are you really still awake right now? I'm all, yeah, I am still awake. And she goes, fine, I'll cuddle with you. Just turn the TV off. And so, boom, turn the TV off, rolls over. She is so warm, it like immediately knocks me out. Boom, right away. I'm out. That was it. And really, that was it. We just cuddled, passed out.
Just cuddle.
That was it. Right? Next day I get up, go to work, and all day long I'm texting her, talking about just what an amazing time I've been having, and love to see you again tonight if that'd be cool. And I think I even offered to cook her food or something, because I love to cook.
Yeah.
And so this is why I remember this. So after that first date, and I ended up staying at her place, I stayed at her place, or she stayed at my place every single day for 32 days in a row before we took our very first break.
Yeah.
And that was my first date, and that's why I remember it, because it was that, and then it was that consistent.
Yeah. I was going back home, so we had to separate.
Hello break.
Because you weren't coming home with me yet.
Right. Wasn't happening. And then was really funny, and this was I'll never forget where it was at. We were driving in Tempe, and we're driving by Arizona Mills Mall, and we're about to drive underneath that the underpass that goes to Fry's Electronics. Yeah. And I think it was like Neo, Sexy Love was on the radio, right? Yeah. And we both loved that song, and Neo was like a very big deal for our dating relationship. Like, that was kind of, we had background music for us. Neo definitely would be,
other than like
112 and obviously Boyz II Men, and Jagged, all the old school when music was still good before it was just
R&B. Yes.
Yeah. And so we're pulling her there, and I look at her, and it dawns on me, and I go, the only mic volume is yours. Oh yeah, well that's cool. Thank you, Elo. Where's your head into? Thank you.
Oh, ha. They can hear me, not you.
Yeah. Hey, cool. Thank you. I appreciate you. And so I look at her and I go, I'm going to marry you someday.
And of course, I'm like, sure. Okay.
And it's only 2 weeks into dating her. Only 2 weeks in. And so even at this point, guys, still no funny business, just little kissing here and there. And so when I said that, she's like, you try anything. I'm like, look, I'm not saying it because of that. I'm not even going to say like the big words, even though I'm pretty sure I'm already there, but I'm just letting you know, I know that's something that I'm going to marry you. I have no doubt in my mind. Right. And she didn't believe me. Didn't believe me
so
at all.
when we met, it was like September. My birthday was in December. I was going to turn 21.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So we were dating. It was like Halloween time.
Yeah.
So I was still, testing him out and see whether I really, really liked you.
Yeah, and I think successful mission.
Yeah.
For the most part, yeah. I think so. Well, then we went to Vegas to go.
Oh yes.
We went to Vegas
for my best friend's birthday,
which they were amazing, by the way.
Like, it's so much fun.
It's really weird to me that a lot of people that I meet that I get along with really well, I don't always get along with their friends, right? Because you always get different versions, right? Like Jeanette, right? Like as you guys are meeting her right now, like this is how much and well that you know her unless you watch her page all the time. But this version of Jeanette that you have is a different version than what her family's version of Jeanette is and what mine is. And we all have that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh,
right.
yeah.
Right. Okay. So usually when they're around their best friend for their whole life, then you get to see the real version of who they are.
Oh, yeah.
And so the fact that I was head over heels already. I was sure. Right. But so now I get to go and see her best friend as well. And all I got to do is win over her approval and make sure that she's actually cool and ain't just been, tricking me this whole time. I'm in. We're good. We're for sure it's going to happen. And so we go and we just had an amazing time and they're hysterical. And we kept talking in British accents and all sorts of stuff.
We're just, oh man. Yeah. Like, well, some of you guys know, obviously Megan, like we go back high school and we just love like singing, dancing, having a good time. Like everything was like fun. And of course him coming into the group, like it was guy friends too, all my like high school guy friends, and they liked him from the get-go. A lot of people like him from the get-go. Like they're my friends, but for whatever reason they become more his friends. Like seriously, you would think I have no friends. They're all his, but they're originally mine.
You're just busy saving the world behind the scenes while I'm doing out in the open. That's all. That's really all it is.
I have two wizards who run my life.
Yeah. And 2.5. 2.5.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Sebi, welcome to the show. Chris, my cousin Chris, man, how you doing, brother?
Hi.
And so if you guys are just joining Alchemy 101, whether you're on Facebook Live with us or you're on Artist First, today is my wife's birthday. So I decided to have her come on the show, and we're just kind of talking about how we met and just different things about really chasing after what your heart needs, even with opposition and even with the struggle, and just figuring out different ways to.
We spend the majority of our time talking about how we met.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful story. It's great. It's one of my favorites. And it's your birthday. What else should we talk? We talk about you and how we met and all these wonderful things. It's great. And so also she was going to school and like very diligent of a student and everything, got through, graduated, going to school to be a vet, and then
technician.
Right. And then had like the worst thing that any college student hears. Right. Not accredited.
Oh yeah.
And the school wasn't accredited.
Oh my God.
So we're in the middle of being in a really good relationship.
But I didn't learn that until later.
Yeah, but we're in the middle of being in like a really good relationship. She's going to school. Everything has been great. While we're in Vegas at her friend's birthday, by now, because it had been a few months, by now, we're definitely doing what you do when you go to Vegas. Right?
And it's not gambling.
It's not, we're not talking about gambling. Yeah, excuse us. But, and there might have been a time specifically that I know of where things happen, and what happens in Vegas doesn't always
stay in Vegas.
Stay in Vegas. And now we have a beautiful 11-year-old boy named Monte. And even when he was a kid, he had a shirt that said "Made in Vegas." Right? It was great. But so now we went from where I was already very sure of what I wanted.
And this was 4 months into meeting, finding out that
we're having a baby.
And just barely 21.
And yeah, so it got real serious real quick.
Yeah.
And a big divergence in the life path. Yeah. Lots of things changed.
Of course, I was so scared, and a baby wasn't in my plan time. But he obviously by that time I had already met your family.
Mm-hmm.
I knew how much you wanted like a baby and how you worked towards me. I don't think you had met my family just yet, like my complete family.
No, I still haven't met her complete family.
No. Yeah.
What do you mean? I'll never be able to, like, they just keep getting bigger. Like, there's more of them. Like, I don't, I can't do it.
Yeah.
But I do remember the first Christmas I went to, because she has a huge, like 96, 7, 8, 19,000 cousins. And
a big, beautiful
huge,
family.
Right. And so I grew up in the Midwest where you do like Christmas Eve at an aunt or an uncle's house, or maybe the grandparents' house. And then Christmas Day, you wake up at your own house and open all the presents, right? That was just the usual tradition for me.
Oh, no.
So I go out here and we're talking like, you guys ever see Cat Williams stand up and he talks about how Mexicans party for 2 to 3 days straight? That shit is serious. I did not know it was that serious.
So much fun.
So much food, so much to drink. All the cousins, uncles, everyone is just exceptional. Everyone is just amazing. I had such a great time. I still can't speak Spanish. So to this day, I only know maybe a third of the conversations, but the intent and the energy behind all of it was just, it was beautiful. It was great. And so I'm up all night drinking with the cousins and we're playing like, I can't even say it.
Ping pong?
Yeah, but the drinking one. What can I say, guys? Someone help me.
Beer pong.
Beer pong. Jeez.
Beer
love me. It's been that
pong.
long since I played. But so we're playing that and I'm very competitive. So all the cousins, like I'm the outside guy. So everyone wants to take me down, but I'm having a good time playing. And, I get people to grow on me pretty quick, So I didn't realize this though. We start opening gifts, guys, at midnight. Right.
And we ended probably around 3 to 4 in the morning.
3 to 4 in the morning. Now, I want to clarify really quick. When she says that, I didn't mean that we were done and we went to bed at 3 or 4 in the morning. No. We were unwrapping presents until 3 or 4 in the morning. And then once the last gift was open, all of a sudden I hear like 2 or 3 of the aunts and the grandma go, "You want some pozole? We have some more to eat. You want some more to drink?" I'm like, "Wait, what?" And all of a sudden everyone goes back in the kitchen and it's like second midnight snack at 4 in the morning, but it's an entire meal that comes complete with more shots of tequila and more all these other things. And next thing I know, it's like 10 o'clock in the morning. And I'm going, wait, we're still at this? And the next thing you know, lunch.
And then we have to
and then we had to drive to my family's place,
which is 45 minutes away, to do,
my version.
Yeah, your version of Christmas.
How Christmas works.
Right? Christmas morning, gifts, and so on.
Right.
And I think for like the first couple of years, you would go like hungover.
Oh, I would get to my grandparents' house so hungover.
So we switched that up.
So we switched
after a couple years.
But guys, in my mind, and guys, this is again very important. Apply these things. The version of why I did this was I'd already known my mom, my girl, obviously. Right? I knew all these people, and I knew that they loved me, and that was good. But Jeanette, who was my new girlfriend and was the new mother of my child, and this woman that I was so in love with, her family's opinion and their happiness and all that all meshing well. How's it looking? We might have to take a break, guys. We got the monitor for the baby, but I think he's good. And what ended up happening was I thought it was well worth being overly drunk and hungover by the time I got to my family's place because they already like me. No big deal. I can be hungover. They're not gonna be upset. But if I didn't party and I didn't go ham with the whole fam, and not all of them, but the ones that we were getting well, then they might not have liked me as much. And so to me, that was like a good alchemic process. Like I'm gonna sacrifice a couple hours with my family to make sure I got these extra tons of hours with her family, and it all worked out really, really well. I think. And what's really interesting was, again, because of my background and where I came from and had just recently got divorced, all those other things, some members of the family at the beginning weren't the biggest fan because I had just, had her life plan change to have a baby with me and all these other things, right?
Well, I mean, like, they're very protective. Like any other families, your cousins, your big boy cousins, they're going to like, they got to test out the new boyfriend. And I still to the day, my youngest sister, 21, she has a boyfriend, and I have my nephews who are testing him out. It's normal. It's normal.
Yeah, it was not very normal. Very normal.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying it took a while before they finally realized how serious I was about it and all these other things. Right. And we were together and I kept telling her I wanted to marry her and all these things. And it just never, we had talked a lot because, you know, we have an amazing, I think, relationship and in partnership and marriage and these things, but we had talked a lot about not the need of getting married, maybe.
I wasn't in a rush. I was, you know, like I was happy where we were. And truthfully, I just felt like at the time, and like it's just a paper. We were already living together. We already had a child. So to me, it's one of those things, like if it's not, what is it, broken?
Don't fix it. Yeah.
Don't fix it. But he wanted to get married.
I wanted her to have my last name, and I wanted to have a family. Because again, growing up, that was just always my goal in my mind. Like the number one thing I'd ever accomplish would be having the most amazing family. And
in my eyes, we were already a family. Like everyone knew, you know, Halo and Jeanette, they have a child, and they already like described him as, oh, your husband, right. Even though he wasn't. And, you know, I wasn't about like, I need a ring in it, you know, like he was a great father. That was good enough for me. You know, he was a great boyfriend. That was good enough for me. But he wanted that. I wanted that family and that last name. Guys, like on the show a lot with Alchemy 101, we talk about the psychology of the words we use and the things that we say, right? So, you know, anyone that's new to the show, I really feel like I'm here to save the world and in my own fashion, my own way. That's what I think, right? But because of that, I act and think way differently than a lot of other people. So I also know that other people think very specific ways, like certain people want to hear about the Smith family, or they want to hear about the Obama family. They want to hear about that. So I wanted to have the Marquise family. So that was very important to me because there seems to be, for whatever reason, whether it's good or bad, whatever the case may be, there's a certain degree or level of extra respect that comes to the blah, blah, blah family, like doctor versus Mr. and so on. And so just even that minor psychology of it to me was enough to want to get it done, because same thing to me, it's a piece of paper, and marriage I don't think is anywhere what it should be or what it was once upon a time either. But getting married and everything was amazing. And so I got to tell this real quick. Only took 10 years.
9. It took 9 years to convince her, right? From 2 weeks of dating her to going, I'm going to marry you. It only took 9 years.
A lot happened in between. So
it did.
You know.
It did. But so guys, I'm just saying though, so if you have that thing that you know you need in your life and that thing that you want, sometimes it might take 9 years of persistence and not throwing the towel in and half smother them with the pillow. No, I'm kidding. No, that never happened. Use stairs. It looks like an accident. Anyways, guys, so after what, I guess it was about 6 years of dating, right?
Yeah.
Her youngest sister, she talked about earlier, Jasmine, was about to have her quinceanera. Jade, what I do, baby?
What up?
I was trying to call you earlier to call Jeanette and tell her happy birthday, but you didn't call me back. So now here we are. It's weird. You made it weird. But so I go to her sister's quinceanera, and my entire family knew. There you go. See that? There you go.
Ooh, ooh.
Thank you, Jade. Thank you, brother. That I wanted to propose to her, right? Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay. All right. Sorry, Jade. Jade says he told her happy birthday. All right. Apparently he did.
Yeah.
And so I go to her sister, and I don't want to ruin her quinceanera. Love you too, brother. Very much, very much. I don't want to ruin her quinceanera or take the wind out of the sails or any of that. But Jeanette knew that because I didn't speak Spanish, I always felt a little outside of the family's full acceptance and everything. So in a place where her entire family could be there, I figured that would be the best place for me to confess my love, right, in front of the entire family. And so that's another thing, guys. The big, scary, terrifying stuff, that's definitely what you should do. Always. You should always do it. That's where your biggest payoffs are, is with the biggest risks.
But you better make sure.
Right. Now, so to make sure, like she just said, perfect. What I did first is I went and asked Jasmine if it would be okay, because I didn't want to steal her thunder, right? And she almost started crying. She was so excited and thought it was great. You know, me and Jasmine always had a really good relationship. She's always known how much I really care about her sister. And so it was awesome for her to say yes. And then I went around and asked each member of the family, in the immediate family, if it was okay. And I remember her mom asking me if I was sure. And I'm like, I'm positive. Absolutely. I need to be with her for the rest of my life. And she goes, okay, if you're going to take care of my daughter, then it's okay. And I was like, oh my God, I have all the blessings. And still, Jeanette has no idea. None. Because again, we had kind of talked about it like it wasn't really going to be a thing. So my family had come to visit, everything, and we did it in this big gymnasium where the kids was. That was beautiful. It was gorgeous. Everything was fantastic. The dancings were great, right?
Yeah.
It's a good time.
It was like Candy King, Candyland theme. So
Yeah.
they did a great job.
AJ and Penelope. Hello, Penelope.
Oh, hello.
Yes, happy birthday whenever you feel like it. It's cool. But so in the gymnasium, they have the like big stage where they do performances and stuff. And someone goes up there with the mic and asks if Jeanette can come out to the middle of the floor, right? And so the whole gymnasium is open, right? And so she's out there standing all by herself, and I come up walking behind her. Everyone can see me doing this. She has no idea. And the funniest thing is she doesn't know why she's caught up there. So she just has this very overly confused look on her face, like, why?
Well, I thought we were going to like do a speech for my little sister, because usually that's what families do, you know, like they say, I love you and happy birthday and I wish great and everything. But I was standing there alone. I'm like, where's my other sister and where's my mom? So I didn't know until he started coming towards me, and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. And I did the one knee thing and everything. And that was it. Happy birthday, Jeannie Jeanette from Penelope. Thank you, Penelope.
Thank you.
She's so great.
He was in the middle of asking me when our...
Wait, no. Wait, you missed them.
Oh.
Before I could even ask the question, I got down and took a knee and opened the ring. And before I could even ask, wham, she went in there and snatched that real quick. So I think we were on the same page by then. But so I'm like, is that a yes? And she's like, yes. And, cries and, it's all this beautiful moment. And we're like hugging each other and everyone.
You had a mic.
And I still had the mic, right? Yeah. I had the mic from walking out there and asking her. And so I've got my arms around her and I'm hugging everything. And guys, so the mic is down by her waist. Okay. You need to visualize this. My arms around her waist high mic. And at this point, Monte was, I think 3. No, he was 6. Yeah, he was 6.
Yeah.
He was 6. Little cute dude. And he had this amazing white tuxedo with the rainbow tie on. He was, man, stud. He's killing it. And he walks up to us because it's just me and her out there, and he's a little kid, he doesn't know any better. And he runs out and hugs us. And then right into the microphone, he goes, Mom, I got to poop. And everyone in the entire spot just lost their mind and dies laughing. And so it was definitely one of those like very amazing moments that you would not know.
It was great. Yes, it was great.
It was so great. And then after that, then we it's been amazing. It's been 12 years.
Yeah. We lived in Phoenix at the time. At some point, we moved here. And as soon as we moved here, I think that same year, we got married.
Yeah.
We got married. We
were engaged for 3 years, and she kept changing her mind.
Yeah.
And just couldn't decide what she wanted. And then I had a business thing that came up that I had to go to Hawaii for originally. And I was like, you know what? I'm tired of waiting. You're going to come with me. I'm marrying you on the beach. And it was one of the most amazing things that I think we'll ever have in our life. Like it was so much fun.
I mean, I wish I had my kiddos and fam, but it was just good.
It was.
Yeah.
It was good. And then so that was the whole everything leading up to us being married, and now we're here.
A year later, exactly.
Yeah.
The day of our wedding.
Oh yeah.
We gave birth.
Yeah. So our wedding anniversary is our almost 2-year-old his birthday, June 9th.
Same date.
Yep. Same date. And he is a little American fireball.
Oh,
so
yes.
It's real. And so that's something that's been really interesting is if you guys have seen me on the show and what we talk about and where the focus is and everything, this whole woke movement and alchemy and magic and energy and all these things. One of the questions I had that people ask me a lot, just because I am the happiest person. I know my relationship with my wife and my kids are absolutely amazing. And people ask like, man, what's it like having like another woke person in your relationship that is like, she's got to be just as on fire and crazy about all this stuff as you are, right? And while she acknowledges it and accepts it as what it is, it's just not really your thing, right?
I'm not at the same wolf level as you. Everything's learning, especially when, I have an 11-year-old who I can say he's at your level for sure, and even him, I'm learning from him.
Yeah.
It's just not that I don't care. It's just,
not the focus. But I think, but guys, this is the thing, because people talk to me about my relationship all the time, more than me and her even talk about this. She knows, but I get a lot of people that think that we have a very difficult relationship because we're so different with our opinions of things and our ideas.
I think
but I think we complement each other.
For us, it's just like, I know what you enjoy, what relaxes you, what you consider peaceful, or so on, or like what you call a defrag. I love the outdoors. I like outdoor activities. I love working out. That is my peace. Like, you'll meditate, I will go for a run, for a hike, go to the gym, and I would join you, but it's just,
it is the perfect balance, as Jade said. And I think that's really important. That's another thing that, a friend of mine was just over here the other day, and he's showing me conversations he's having with this girl about maybe dating, right? And it wasn't about them dating. It was about just things that this girl posts online. And she's like, I don't want a guy unless it's X, Y, Z, and B, and 1 and 2, and like this whole list of very specific things that if these things aren't there, I can never be with this person. But as well as Jeanette and I get along and really complement each other and help each other grow, there's a lot of things we don't see eye to eye on. Right. And I feel like, guys, I'm telling you right now, I feel like that is almost more important than having all those things set the same way.
I do believe sometimes you wish I can see what you see, feel what you feel, but I see it and I understand it by the way you describe it sometimes. So I support everything you do, like our lifestyle. I, do it because I understand it and I know where you're coming from, So obviously, like, we've changed our diet drastically.
Oh, yeah.
And I love junk food. I love Mexican food. I love pastries, but I also love my children. And if we need being healthy. And so, certain things, like, I might not fully agree, but I understand.
We agree to make adjustments.
Yeah. And for the best, we compromise. Yeah. Definitely compromise on a lot of things. Because again, I'm opinionated.
Yeah, and I think it's okay. But what I'm trying to stress is so many people are looking for their perfect match. That's a good mix. And while for some people that might be a thing, as I'm telling you, you cannot get growth from ease of use.
Truthfully, one of like the better relationships I've learned is like a person who's stuck on like, oh, this is the kind of man I want to have. They meet someone who they're like, you know what? They've taught me how to be this way. They're the one that put the foot down. And I've never thought I would have a man like that, but it just, they realize what's good for them. And that person ends up being good for them, and like he said, it helps them grow. So, you're not going to get a man who's going to check off all the lists. You definitely want to find a man that you can grow with and learn from,
or women, just in case. But no, but I'm just saying though, like a lot of people that have this, like, so let's say that hey guys, just hypothetically, just work with me on this. So say if she was just as woke as she said, like our son who's way woke than both of us, right? But if we're on the same page for all of that, that means any conversations we have are going to be the same conversations. The things that we talk about are going to be the same agreements that we already have. Like, we're going to see eye to eye on everything. Now, that could be ease of use and fine and not stressful, but that's not going to create any type of growth. Right. So the things that
there's definitely relationships out there they're both, woke and are at the same level or same interest or driven the same way. That's great. Like our friend Daniela.
Oh yeah.
Them too. They're incredible couple, and but they both agree, at least in my opinion, they both agree that they're driven. They both are wanting to go towards the same goal, raise a family same way, and that's great, and they can do it together. Like. Yeah. If I learned anything, like not a lot of couples can work together, and they can work together very well. So you don't always,
I'm just saying the perfect blend that everyone's always looking for. I think it works for some people, but if you're looking for like real growth and real ways to expand where you're at, then having someone that is in a different place, sometimes higher, sometimes lower, sometimes in a completely different area, I think that's just as, if not more important, because it pushes your bounds and makes you grow a lot more. And again, just because I'm overly open, I talk with lots of people, and people are like, how are you able to have a relationship with someone that doesn't do these things? And I'm looking at them like, you guys must be crazy. The extra friction is what's allowed us to create this fire that we have for our family, and the extra weight that we put on each other just with stress of different opinion makes us be stronger and more stable and able to grow together and rely on each other in ways that, if it was easier, we wouldn't have that. Like, it's, you know what I mean? I think that that's the alchemy of our relationship.
Like, we've been together for 12 years, but obviously there was time when we weren't. Right. You know, we had a break, and if it wasn't for that break, like, we wouldn't have realized the love, appreciation, you know, like, sometimes, you know, arguments or whatever, you have to step back and like, and those are the things that kind of like you learn from it, and then, or you like, whether it's yourself of like the kind of person you are, or
the other person realizes what they had and where they need to grow and change. Like, you just you don't know. And it's great that we were able to come to the same realization in the same time. And after that, it was just a rededication, a recommitment of, we're in this together, and we're just going to work through it and do our best to communicate and try to grow. And guys, what I'm telling you, when I say amazing woman, I am a crazy person. I'm so over the top with my idea of growth, and perfection is not the right word, because I don't think we can ever really be that, but to be as close to that as possible. And I drive her nuts, I'm sure, but she has so much patience that she's been able to at least deal with me doing that. And that's another really big part of it, is understanding each other's faults and each other's weaknesses and each other's strengths, and the things that we're all good at individually is part of what makes the opposites and the inconsistencies amazing, because you never know what's going to get helped where, but you still know that you can rely on the person to do it, right?
Yeah.
And so, as she keeps mentioning our 11-year-old Amante, just with her, and if you guys can't tell because you guys haven't get to talk to her much, she just has like the kindest, nicest soul of anyone you could ever meet. And that has really rubbed off onto our child. So,
except he's very emotional.
But he's very emotional as well, which is still okay.
He's a perfect combination of both,
us. He
for
is.
Sure.
But because of that combination, he's, and at a young age, he's very driven to wanting to excel and to show the world a nicer, better, wonderful place. Yeah. So him coming into our lives the way that he did has really made us step our game up on all sorts of levels and all sorts of places that I don't think either of us ever thought would be something we'd even be interested in, look into.
It's just, especially like obviously as he gets older and he pays more attention, it's fully more aware. Like, we have to be careful of how we act, how we speak to each other, what we do, what we don't do, because that seriously affects him, and that's the future, you know? And like he said, he is determined to make a difference, to help other people make a difference. So we have to
to step up and make sure that we don't
and every parent wants that, I'm sure. You know, they want what's best and learn and teach, but at least for our son, he just, if anyone knows him,
he's exceptional. He's I always say he's who I want to be when I grow up. He's amazing. Hey, Carrie, Wesley, Kiara, you guys got here just kind of towards the end. We got to start wrapping it up soon, but it's been so great having her on the show. And hopefully, if you guys send me lots of good feedback. On Facebook is fine. You can go to orderofalchemy.org and you can email me through there. Taki in the building, man. We were just talking about you and your wife, man. Yes. You guys are the power couple that we know. You guys are awesome.
We love you guys.
We do. We love you guys. But yeah, please give me really good feedback so that way I can show it to her and then we can trick her to come back on the show.
I see everything.
Oh, and Via Gomez. You guys all showed up right at the end of the show, but we love you. We love you guys so much. We really do. And so, again, happy birthday, babe.
Thank you.
And
thank you.
It was great having you on the show. Do you have anything you'd like to leave with anyone. Dude, I'm telling you, we were just talking about you. You missed. You have to go back and watch the show. We were just talking about you guys.
I see all of this. I do work, I swear, but in the background, I do.
Oh yeah,
you guys are awesome. It's so much fun watching you guys. Thank you for those who send love and those who don't.
Yeah, still thank you. Yeah, we appreciate it very much.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
We didn't get into a lot of subjects we wanted to, but
we told the story and said, so that's what I'm saying. Say, you know, send the good feedback and then I'll definitely get her back on and we'll get into some more subjects and topics. But yeah, guys, thank you again so much for coming on Alchemy 101. Love you so much, baby.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Please have a good night. It's Halo. Let's be better humans. Love you guys.